Okay, this is unique tool. Unique tool number one. Here it is. Ever seen one of them before? I never did. What's its provenance? In other words, how did I get it? Okay, I used to hang out with these two old codgers, Dick and Joseph, and they ran an old sawmill. It had a circular blade that was about 5 foot in diameter. It was run by an old tractor. You wouldn't even know that the thing could run until you saw it run. Anyway, that saw blade had a nut on it that was about that big around. This is what they used to get it off. It's a wrench. So how did I acquire it? Well, I always kind of had my eye on that because I'd never seen one like this before. And I kind of wanted to get my hands on it. You know, that's called lusting after another man's tools, which is a sin, you know. And so I went and bought this wrench here, and I said, hey, how about we trade this wrench for this wrench? And they said, cool. So what they were doing is they were taking this wrench, clamping it down on that big nut, and then putting a pipe on the end of it. Now, one of the reasons why I really like this, and I use it, and the cool thing about it is that when you put it on a nut, it stays on that nut. Which is really pretty cool. Now also because I use it, this thing had been abused by Joseph. Speaking of Joseph, Joseph, way back then, he was 72 years of age. He was one of the strongest guys I've ever met. When we would go to the pub, it was just right where the sawmill was. It was called the Lion's Head, often referred to as the aching head. But when he would sit in his chair like this, his back ramrod straight and his pint here and like that. He never slouched. And I was young and dumb, and you know how the saying goes. And I said, all right, Joseph, let's just see how strong you are. So I got myself all locked and cocked and as tight as I could. And I said, okay. And whoop, he lifted me right out of my seat. That's how strong this guy was. So anyway, it was bashed up, and because they had a pipe on it, it was flared out at the ends. So, you know, because I used it quite often, I wanted to retool it so that the two surfaces would be parallel. And you can see that this thing was turned on centers, and I was able to put it, you know, on centers and turn this. I don't know if you can see that it's turned. Probably won't show. And I was able to get this one in the jaws of my lathe and get it turned so that they're together. Now you'll notice that, I turned it, which means the metal should be bright. Well, I like to try to keep the patina on my old tools, so yeah, it was bright, but after you finish working it, then my secret is I just get some gun blowing and darken it back up. So that fits one way better than the other. There we go. Okay. So, and also you can see that it did double duty as a hammer. Joseph was really rough on his tools. So you can see that end. It's kind of mangled and mashed. But I got it so that, you know, the sides are parallel and you can use it again. Okay, so what's this thing called? Well, Joseph was German, so I always kind of assumed this was a German wrench, but after doing some searching, I found out what it's called is a French wrench. Would you like to have a French wrench? I think I would. Or they call it a French key. This thing also has some markings on it, and I'll put a little inset here so you can see the markings, but it has a T inside a hexagon, and then it's got a 0 with a slash through it, and it looks like little wings on top. And then another 0, 777, and then a 36 on the bottom all by itself. So, if any of you have any more information or know anything about a tool like this, which I think there's not a lot on the internet about this, but if you guys have any knowledge about that, let's hear it. Put it in the comments. That's unique tool number 1.